But now let us see, after Sahaja Yoga, what should be our attitude, which is sane. The first is that now I am a Sahaja Yogi. And now I am connected to Christ. So, what is my responsibility? Christ felt responsible for the whole world. He is described in the Devi Purana as the support of the whole universe. As soon as you are connected with Christ, the whole attitude has to change. So, to be connected with Christ means, what are the qualities of Christ you have imbibed within yourself? That's the minimum of minimum. What did you get out of his life? Is it that he has cured people, all right, so you should get cured? He gave eyes to people, so you must get your eyes back. Do you mind removing this? Or is it that his life, which you have enshrined, should also make you something that could be enshrined, that could be respected, that could be called as a reflection of Christ's life? Now let us see his life, what kind of a life he led. We read Bible, we carry Bible everywhere, and even I saw the Bible in the hotel as if it's a part of the thing, like a soap is kept in Bible. Of course, I read it. I don't know how many read it. But then it doesn't become to say you are a Sahaja Yogi if through his connection you have not received any one of his qualities. For example, this is now connected to the mains, so you are getting electricity through it. This doesn't give electricity to the mains, but it receives. So you have to receive something from him. And what you have to receive is the qualities that he had. You might say, because Mother, he was divine. He was the Son of God. But he was also son of his mother. And you are also son of your mother. So mediocrity in our character cannot say that we are connected with Christ, because there is no energy of Christ flowing in you. When the energy of Christ flows to you, you express it. Like yesterday, the gentleman was playing, and I think the power of Saraswati started flowing in him. And how beautifully he played. He couldn't control his fingers. He said, it's all happening here, I don't know how. So throughout, if you see his life, he was a person who was all the time bothered about the benevolence of the world. How clearly he went and talked to the priests and told them that you don't understand me because you are blind. He told them that He knows his father, and his father knows him. But you do not know me, nor you know your father. So openly, blatantly, he was talking. He was not afraid that he will go to jail. He was not afraid that by saying such a thing, the ego of others will be challenged. Because he was not pretentious. He was not doing something that was not truthful. He was telling the truth. And truth has that capacity to express itself through your personality. But do we really believe in ourselves? Do we really believe that we are Sajogis? That we can talk to people as Christ could talk to them? At a very young age of 12 years, he could go and talk to the priests. What courage! There was no need for him. He should have really got married, like Sajogis do, and settled down with his wife and children nicely. Because the main headache for Sajogis seems to be the marriage and their children. He never married. He was so precious that he didn't want to waste his time with these things. He died so young, he knew he had to die. So, in his life, you see, he was not a mundane type of personality, not mundane, not ordinary. And when he spoke with such confidence, with such knowledge of truth, that people did believe, him had to believe, they couldn't help it. This power you too have, and you can do the same. But the way he used his power, why can't we use? Because we are not intense about it. Our attention is on something else, which is quite frivolous, which is useless. All right, we are Sajogis. So what do we think? First thing we'll think, now today is a puja, what should I wear? Then I haven't yet pressed my clothes, or my sari is not all right. I have to match it, and how to dress up. All these frivolous things first come to our house, our brain. Or in the morning when you get up in your ashrams or anywhere, what do you think? If it was Christ, he would say, I'm sleeping still. I have to meditate. I have to be one with the divine. He would not say, no, the divine will look after it, it's all right. The divine will meditate for me. Yeah. After all, Parama Chaitanya, it has to meditate. Why should we meditate? We are all Sajogis. Everything is Saj. So let the divine meditate for us. We can't get up in the morning. It's difficult. We can't. You see, just can't. But then you can't be a Sajogi. You are supposed to be connected with all the deities, not only Christ. And here you can't even get out of your bed to meditate. While all the deities are already up there, waiting for you to get up, that's all. They can't understand what's happening to these Sajogis. How can they be so low? After all, Mother must have given them realization, thinking them to be something great. How did they get realization? They're so ordinary, so mundane, so useless. The deities start wondering why Mother gave them realization. Because a person who cannot enjoy his meditation cannot be a Sahaja. That's the first sign of a Sahaja, that he looks forward to that time when he can meditate. That is the time you are really in connection with the divine and you enjoy the most. Whenever I get a chance, I go into it. I find it so difficult to come out of it. For today, it happened to me. I was thinking that I'll have to struggle out for this puja. I'll have to work it out. I don't know how will I get out of this meditative mood. But surprises so many people. It's brought something for me to. How people are meditating. Especially so many Indians told me this thing. It's something very surprising. That they are supposed to be meditating and immediately they get up. What cakes, what things, what have you cooked, this, that. There's no slumber of meditation in them. They just start thinking about food. How can that be? It's the way you cannot get out of your sleep. In the same way, a Sahaja cannot get out of his meditative mood. It's so enjoyable. You want to be there. So one of the signs that you are not yet anywhere near Sahaja is that if you cannot enjoy your meditation. Imagine if you enjoy a television show or anything, you have to see it, isn't it? You cannot just say, all right, I'm sleeping now and I'm enjoying the television. So you have to be awakened to it. But that awakening is within. And there you see your own connection. It's a joy that I cannot describe really. There's only one word for that, is Nirananda. It's just Nira means only the joy, absolute joy. And who would like to give up the joy for what? For a cake or for a tea or this? Just think of it. The joy is so deep, so intense, so beautiful. I don't know what else to say. You have not tasted the ambrosia. The Rajavadu said as if the ambrosia is trickling down on your tongue. It's like that, the taste of it. But what I find, that the depth we have not touched, which is within us. All of you have that depth. That not that you don't have. I have not given you realization because you are just there, here, because you have that depth within you. You are special people with that depth. But you haven't touched it. It shows you haven't touched it. Supposing it's like a well full of water, but you are still dangling somewhere in the middle. You haven't yet touched that depth. Because once you get into that, you get completely drenched and lost. But if that is not the situation, that shows that you are still somewhere dangling in between, and any time you can come high and dry. So you have to judge yourself. This is the time for you to judge. You are in connection with Christ. He achieved his resurrection, by which we have to achieve our resurrection. But what have we done to achieve that resurrection which he has achieved? He intensely lived a life of complete sacrifice and complete concentration towards one goal, that he has to achieve the resurrection. Nothing else was important to him. All that attention was on one thing, that I have to achieve this resurrection, I have to get crucified, and I have to be resurrected, because the whole world has to be resurrected. But Sahajogis, I don't know how many think that way, how many think that dedication is needed. And the best part of it, that is so joy-giving. Every step you move forward is so joy-giving. The sinking in that well is so very joy-giving. It's not painful. You don't have to crucify yourself. You don't have to carry the cross. He's done it for you. So what do you sacrifice? Is your laziness. When it comes to the satisfaction of ego, people are overactive. They are like bullets then. And when it is the satisfaction of their physical comfort, they become, I don't know. We had one Rakshasa called Kumbhakarna, who used to sleep for 6 months and used to be awake 6 months. But here I see people sleep for 12 months. What do you call them? Then they say, Mother, we can't keep awake. Why? Because you are not meditating. You are not one with Christ.